And the race has started. We have one in both locations, and it looks like we're having the Power Gloves in Sanctuary.
It looks like Cool Pants is running up and doing the escape backwards, at least the first part of escape backwards. And Silver's in the escape chest.
Yeah, early Silvers is a pretty good blessing overall, as we'll be able, as soon as they find the bow, to kill the bosses quite easily.
Vanilla Piece of Heart under the sluice gate.
Coolpants finally getting his glove in Sanctuary.
Three bombs in the Lumberjack Cave. And 5 rupees in the tavern.
Now, this scene has been a bit generous so far. They already have a sword, flippers, and the gloves. They can get a lot of places.
But they still can't complete any dungeons. And there's the mirror in the forest.
That's going to be useful later on to explore even more locations in the Dark World. Well, technically more in the Light World, but you know what I mean. Now, they don't have quite enough money to check Zora first. Maybe they'll opt in to go farm the rupees in the Holy Hand.
Hey, we have a Master Sword. We have a master sword in the well.
That is quite a lucky find. Maybe that means we're breadcrumbing into an Agaham seed.
Well, we still have no lamp for that yet.
That's true. That's the only thing missing, though. So as soon as these guys find the lamp, I'm betting this is going to be another Agaham seed. Shout out to our streamer who's doing a wonderful job.
Yes, Zelnus, you are helping us out big time. Also, a big shout out to our tracker.
Of course. Now, since these guys still don't have the hammer or a moon pearl, it's going to be hard for them to explore the dark world just yet. So they'll need to still explore a few more locations on the overworld to either gain access to Eastern or Desert. And of course the lamp, so they can access either Agaham or Death Mountain.
Very true. I haven't noticed, have either of these two checked Sick Kid?
I haven't noticed myself, but they could look at it quite fast, as Coolpantsguy is just besides Kakariko. And oh, is Ole trying to go up Death Mountain without the lamp?
That's what it looks like. I'm not good enough to do that in the dark.
He's doing a wonderful job so far. He's already on the last part. Oh my.
And Old Man has the boots.
Of all things, that sequence break could put him really ahead. Now we've seen a quick look at the map here, and seems like two of the dungeons were crystal. And we find yet another bottle inside a spectacle rock. Considering it's a blue potion, he might want to get it early on, as it can be useful.
And it looks like he is getting it.
You have to remember, there's no shame in picking up a few safety items. Better to lose a few seconds to get those than to lose minutes by not getting them.
We've got a hobo check coming from Cool Pants.
I was about to say he did a wonderful job doing fake flippers, but he actually has the flippers, so less chance to soft lock.
And it's a piece of heart.
And see, somewhere he found the lamp. I did not get where though.
Probably Mini Moldorm. Because he was in Mini Moldorm, but we didn't see what the 2 right-hand chests were in that. Looks like Ole is going into Tower of Hera.
Not a bad play, but he won't be able to complete it if it is required for him to go downstairs. With no fire source, he can't light up the torches down there.
Yes, but the hope is always in Tower of Hera that that will not be required. He's also down to 1 heart.
He should be fine despite that, just because this dungeon is quite small, and even if he takes a death here, he won't lose minutes.
Right, he won't lose lots of time from a death.
And Zora has something.
And Olin takes a death. Thank you to the chat for helping us out on that. Apparently it was 20 rupees for Zora.
Now, escape did not, sewers did not pay off for him, at least in the latter part of it.
Looks like we're gonna see a bomb jump over to Big Chest. Zelna's lamp was Mini Moldorm. It's the only place it could have been.
Now, I think he was locked out of the second item from Tower of Hera, because Moldorm had a map.
But it looks like he's going down to do the Southern Hyrule route, so he'll have his lamp soon.
Ole will be able to confirm us whether or not the lamp is truly in the mini Moldon cave, or rather in which chest it was. And there we go.
Lamp and bug net. And we have our Moon Pearl and Ice Rod Cave.
Now that's an important item to get, especially early on. But what they have right now, they don't have quite enough to go into the Dark World unless they try their hands at Agahim. And as Chad is pointing out, this looks like it might be the case.
Zelnus, I have not noticed if Agina has been checked.
Now, looks like Ole will be getting his life lessons from Zorish soon enough. In the meantime, Coolpantsguy is going into Tower of Hera basement to go grab the item that's there. And hopefully we'll know soon enough what it is, because it might be important.
Yeah, just maybe. I didn't notice what was on the Zora ledge.
I believe it was bombs.
It is a shield in the basement Tower Hera.
Not quite the item you want to find there, but at least it's a progressive item. Might be useful later on if they don't know how to clear Laser Bridge without with the equipment they have.
And we have a tempered sword in the Sanctuary Bonk Rocks.
Oh, that's an early tempered, a sub 20 tempered. That was wow.
Looks like Olen is going back through the sewers to do the first part of escape.
Or at least check the chest that it's in the middle here.
₹20, 300 rupees, and some number of rupees from the back of Rufus Xavier Sasparilla's hut.
Now we might see Srirachuala later on as they grab the green pendant in the Dark World somewhere, but that's a bit unlikely unless it hides a progression item of some sorts. Coolpantsguy is going into Eastern, betting that one of the 3 items he can get, and he can get up to 3 items if he's lucky with the item distribution in this dungeon.
And Olen is doing the first part of escape, and there was Ice Rod.
Ooh, early Ice Rod. We all know what that means. Either Turtle Rock is not required and is a pendant dungeon, but will need to go into, or Turtle Rock will be required and the medallion is in a pendant dungeon, because Turtle Rock is always a troll dungeon. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm biased or anything. It's true science, people.
I personally would still rather do Turtle Rock than Ice Palace.
That we can agree on. Ice Palace is a chore to go through when you're not in go mode. Also, Mire 2 can be very annoying. Fortunately, these runners have at least 2 dungeons in the light world that's a crystal, so it will be quite easy for them to skip a few dungeons in the dark world.
Of course, the ultimate troll for that would be something like Pod and Swamp Palace being pendants.
Ah, yes, the 2 dungeons that have the most treasures.
Yes, Ole is going for Aghanim.
Certainly not a bad play, as with the Moon Pearl, they'll be able to check a few places, notably the Pyramid item and Catfish, without going into Pod. And if they do try to go into Pod, they might be able to check a few chests here and there, but not complete it since they lack the hammer and the bow. Now, Coolpantsguy only found a bomb upgrade as his second item in Eastern and cannot complete it any further. He'll need to go explore it another way.
Looks like Cool Pants may be going over to do Ice Rod Cave. And then get his Moon Pearl.
Yes, and that might push him into the Aga, into doing Aga, since he has everything he needs to start exploring the Dark World, or at least part of it. Ole getting trolled a bit by a guard here makes it through up to the Aghanim.
And Coolpants is maybe heading over to Desert? Hello, Hammer.
Ooh, and that gamble paid off a lot. By finding the hammer now, he has an easy access to the Dark World all over the place, and he does not need to do Aghanim.
Wow, that's a rarity to find a useful item in Agina. Okay, looks like Mire is one pendant, Skullwoods is another pendant, and Crystal 4 in Thieves Town, and I can't see the rest of Dark World map.
Judging from his own stream, though, we can see that Ice Palace and Turtle Rock are both required, and so is Pod and Swamp.
Okay, let's see what's in Hype Cave. 10 arrows, piece of heart, 300 rupees, 10 more arrows, and ether.
Now, ether is one of those key items, as they could be used to open Mire or Turtle Rock. We have yet to see what both of those are. It can also be used to freeze enemies and reveal a few paths here and there that are invisible, but I think most of these players know these paths by heart by now, so they probably won't use it for that.
Chat points out that Ole might not be going to check Agina for a while.
I can understand why. I mean, it's so far away for a single item that there's a far better chance that there's something interesting in Palace of Darkness, which has 5 treasures. Might not be able to get all of those, but he'll be able to get something, which might open up more paths.
Well, if he doesn't get Hookshot in the early part of Pod, then he's going to have to go check Agina. Because without Hammer or Hookshot, he's locked out of most Dark World.
That's true. He will be able to go check on Catfish, though.
Valid point.
For a second here, I was thinking he might go and try to hover here, but he's no Andy. It's not a jab at the runner. I don't think there's a lot of runners here who knows how to hover, especially these hard hovers. Coolpantsguy looking into Skull Woods, trying his luck in here, as it's heavily. It usually has a progression item in it. It's one of those dungeons that they don't have a lot of items in it, but for some reason they tend to have a lot of useful things in these seeds and this logic.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. There's Cape for Olin. Chat points out Pod is being very cooperative for exploration without bow, which I agree.
But now he's finally key locked, so he can't do anything more in there.
And Coolpants takes a death.
Now, since this is Skullwoods and there's entrances to the dungeon everywhere, he's losing just a bit of time to go around and dodge those Gibdos. Only finds a red rupee for his trouble, slashes in frustration a bit. Now, since he doesn't have the fire rod, he can't go look any further, as he cannot open the final way to the dungeon. He'll be able to go look elsewhere, though, notably Thieves' Town.
See, I love Thieves' Town. It's one of my favorite Dark World dungeons to do because it's a fast dungeon to complete.
Yes, it's quite easy to if you got the layout just right and you can dodge a few enemies here and there. The only difficult part is blind, but once you know how to properly deal with him, it's a pretty scripted fight.
And there's another shield upgrade in the No Door Hut.
This is a great upgrade to have right here, as he'll be able to block most of Blind's attack with it, making the fight this much easier. Ole finds out that there is nothing good in Eastern Palace, so he'll need to turn back and look elsewhere. And he has pretty limited options, as we've talked about earlier. So he has Catfish and Agina. One of those has an item he needs. We know it's an Agina's cave that has a hammer, but Catfish might also have something useful, such as a hookshot, a mushroom, or a shovel to go use those fetch quest items and find yet another item.
Chat points out just how trolly hookshot would be. That would be from Catfish.
Yeah, it would send him in entire other locations, which might not be a good play for him, since he'll still need a hammer for a lot of dungeons. And
well, it was
only
not.
bombs.
So we're finally getting a sick kid check. And the sick kid has big love.
Now, on Coolpantsguy's side, I don't think he's found anything useful in Thieves Town so far. He will be able to check the big chest at least, since he does have the hammer.
It does not appear that he's found anything useful.
Yeah, it does not appear so.
The red boomerang on Desert Ledge. And Olin takes another death.
Ooh, that's not a good death to have here, as he'll need to go all the way back to desert to to look at Agina's cave. And a single green rupee in Thieves Town's big chest.
It was those birds, and those birds almost got him again.
Now, it doesn't look like Coolpantsguy has any kind of safety except a blue potion, so he will need to still be careful on this fight. Because once blind starts to go off track, it can be very easy to just take a few hits from a body check or a laser and lose all your health.
And Cool Pants takes another death.
Like that.
Yep. But a death to blind isn't as costly as a death to most dungeon bosses because it's not that far to get back.
That's true, but it does change this pattern a bit as the fight starts as soon as you enter the room instead of when you bring in the maiden. Ole now finding his ether.
And Cool Pants takes another death.
Now we might see a lead change shortly if Ole finds something useful on his side as he's still exploring the dark world.
We got a Stumpy check. And Stumpy has some pocket change. And another death on Cool Pants' side. He is having some real trouble with blind, it looks like.
He'll probably want to go check a few more locations to help him go through this fight, as it's not an easy one by all means. And since he did go through most of the dungeons, it's going to be a quick dip later on to just go finish up blind.
And Digging Game has the book.
Now that opens up a few more locations here, notably Desert.
As well as both Ether and Bombos tablets.
Yeah.
Oh, and the bad puns are coming out in chat.
Looks like we'll be checking a pedestal check. Pedestal hype?
Just a little piece of love.
Dang, looks like this seed is not that trolly after all.
And meanwhile, Cool Pants is checking Bombos tablet. And gets the hook shot.
Now that's a great find. He'll be able to explore much more now, as he has everything he needs to go into Swamp and also Eastern Death Mountain.
And Coolpants is checking Eastern Death Mountain.
Has found nothing that's good so far downstairs.
Four of the chests in the upstairs didn't have anything. I don't know what the fifth one had.
I think I saw a slash after he picked up whatever was there, so it might be something useful, as runners tend to slash after they find something they've been looking for.
Olin
Oh,
spending a little bit of time to get a refill.
yep, asking for a refill for $20 at the Squid.
Okay, 20 rupees up on the island on top of Death Mountain.
Sparrow Cave has only couch cash also. So Death Mountain has not been very useful so far, but it could still be in the tablet.
Olin taking care of the Village of Outcasts items. And just some couch cash and ether tablet.
Now, these guys can still explore a few dungeons if they want. They could go into Desert Palace or Swamp, but I believe Swamp would be a better place. It is a crystal dungeon compared to Desert, who's only a pendant dungeon.
And Swamp has a whole lot more items in it.
Yeah, that's true. So if they were to risk their luck on something, it most likely is more in Swamp.
And Coolpants at least can full clear swamp.
Buying himself a potion for the road is not a bad idea. Looks like he wants to finish Thieves Town first, though.
I think that's probably what I would do in the same situation.
Since he picked up a few more hearts and a red potion, he'll be able to do short work of blind now. And high five in the blind fight. Getting himself 300 rupees might be useful later on to get a few more potions. Ole is now cleaning up the rest of Village of Outcasts. And Coolpants is headed for Swamp. Six items available in Swamp. It's the best haul of any dungeon. May need to do a few run around the dungeon if they're not lucky with the big key.
That's true. There may be backtracking required if you don't get the big key before the big chest. Red mail. in that first chest.
No, that's gonna help a lot, since now they take a lot less damage. It's good to know he had the blue mail.
And Olin picks up his hook shot.
Now, since he's just besides it, he'll probably go check swamp right now. So we got a race going on, people. These runners are maybe 1 or 2 minutes apart.
I mean, these runners are both certainly good enough to remember to avoid it, but I always have to remind myself in here, don't flood the key.
Oh, totally. I completely understand that. Kind of flooded the key myself a few times, but it's the kind of thing where once you've done it once or twice, you kind of learn from it. It's a pretty costly mistake, as to reset the water, you need to get out of Swamp Palace and transition to another screen.
I'll answer to chat. No, both mails weren't in the swamp. Cool Pants had gotten the blue mail earlier, up on Death Mountain.
Opting to check the left side before completing the dungeon, he'll find himself 2 more treasures up there.
That's what I usually do too, is check the left side, then complete the dungeon.
Seems to be the preferred route overall. I did see a few runners complete the dungeon, then check all the chests, depending on what they find on the way.
Okay, we have no big key yet, so there will be some backtracking for the big chest. If it even has an item in it.
Did Oli just skip the left chest?
It looks like he did.
Oh, okay. He decided
Nope,
to check
he's
it
just
out.
hook-shotting over.
I mean,
There we've got a big key on Cool Pants' side.
I think he's going right now to check the big chests. I do think it's less of a detour to go check it right now than to check it later on.
I agree, especially when it's right there. And it's the cane of Brian.
Now that could be useful for checking a spike cave, as Coolpantsguy did not have the cape so far. Or maybe he does, and we haven't seen him pick it up. As Chad is pointing out, the cape wasn't pod, so he doesn't have it. So this is the first item he might need to go check Spike Cave later on.
I so prefer having Tempered or Gold Sword to do Argus.
Ah yes, it makes the fight much easier, as a single slash of Tempered Sword is enough to kill those little puffballs, and you can use a poke strat with the Golden Sword to kill them even faster.
And we have a Fire Rod.
Now Fire Rod is going to open up Skull Woods, and it still has an item in it, I believe.
As chat points out, Mitts, Bow, Cane of Samaria, and possibly medallions. Looks like Cool Pants is going up to check Catfish.
He'll be fairly disappointed by just a few bombs.
Looks like Cool Pants is going to buy a blue potion too.
Yeah, it's a good investment early on, but it will be useful later on if they don't find half magic. A few fights here and there can be quite hard, especially the Ganon fight if you don't get the torch glitch. But since
but they do have silvers, so
yeah. So they shouldn't be a problem. But another fight that can also be hard without half magic is Trinex.
True. Trinex and Cold Stare.
Possibly the two more difficult boss of the Dark World. Ole will now find his red mail.
You know, I've practiced a lot of them, but I am just not very good at those bomb jumps.
No, they are not easy. And most of them only save a small amount of time, so trying once or twice here and there can be useful, but the only one that's truly a good time save is the one in Ice Palace. If you want to skip having a cane, it's a great sequence break.
Looks like Olen's going across to check the ether tablet and get his couch cash.
And Coolpantsguy is looking into pot now, trying to find those the few items that he's missing. We might see a few different items that he gets from here, as if he goes into the dark room on his left, he will be able to open the two chests that are there, depending on where he uses his small key.
That's true, and Olen is coming back and finishing off Tower of Hera. Tower basement. He's set up his iframe glitch. I don't know if you'd call it a glitch.
It's definitely a good coffee break, though, as in this randomizer, there's not a lot of places where you can just stop taking your controller and just take a breather. In the vanilla game, each time you would have a pendant or a crystal, you would have a small cutscenes to just mash through some text and focus on what's next. But now you don't have those, so you need to still think quickly.
And we've got Olen in Spike Cave. Burning his blue potion to get through Spike Cave.
Only to be rewarded with another heart. I believe Ice Palace is still locked behind myths, though, so they won't be able to do that.
I'm thinking desert at this point.
Yep, it's either desert or it could still be on Mothula or the chest before Mothula in Skull Woods.
That is true. And Coolpants going to check escape. Olin realizing that he can't do any more in pod without the bow.
Ole is now going towards desert, so we'll see soon enough what's in there. Now, so far, this seed has been very trolly, sending them back and forth into different dungeons, not being able to complete them.
But Ole can fully complete desert. There's item number 1 is the bloomerang.
And hopefully the item is in the big chest here, as he'll not need to go kill Landmolas for the second item.
Or it's mitts on the bonk lamp.
Oh wow, that's a nice find. Immediately getting out of there, as there is no more value to get from Desert Palace.
And it looks like he's going straight for Ice Palace.
He won't be able to go mode it, but at this point he still needs a few more items. At least he can complete it.
See, there's 2 reasons that I would rather do Turtle Rock than Ice Palace. One is the Turtle Rock's got a lot more items. The other is I hate ice physics.
Ice physics are definitely a hard thing to go through in this game, especially if you don't have a sword. Fortunately for them, they have tempered, so it's going to be easy.
And we've got a bow. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there, but that's kind of an important find.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. Now that they have the bow, they could, after this dungeon, go complete Eastern and Pod at the same time. And it's looking more and more like this is going to be a flukeless scene.
Olin getting that bomb jump on the second try. And Olin doing the hookshot trick to get to the big chest.
That's a nice way to save a bomb.
Well, it's not saving the bomb as much as it is saving the time it takes the bomb to explode.
That's true.
And in a race like this one where he did Aghanim and it wasn't required, he's probably thinking every second matters.
Oh yeah, definitely. And these, especially if these are both these racers' first race, they don't know how their opponents think or how good they are truly. So they need to do every little time save they can.
Chat points out a potential big troll. Big Chest and Misery Mire having powder, and Batcave having Canis Amaria. And Coolpants is up doing Dark World Death Mountain.
That's another place where the final items they need could be, as it does have a few items here and there in the Super Bunny Cave and the Hookshot Cave. He'll also be able to look what's the medallion required at Turtle Rock.
And Bombos is another item found in Ice Palace.
Oh, and it looks like we found Kane off screen.
Yeah, looks like it was in Super Bunny Cave.
Well, there goes my prediction. So if Turtle Rock is locked behind Ether, he might want to go and do it right now since he's there.
And Olin down to 1 heart before he gets cold stare down.
Close fight, but he did do it pretty cleanly anyway. No deaths and no potion used.
Looks like Olin is going to go finish Pod and then Eastern.
It's a good play considering both dungeons are needed. And Coolpantsguy is going for a blacksmith check, and maybe after that he'll check the hammer pegs and the purple chest. Which, by the way, is my favorite sprite in this game.
Okay, apparently Cool Pants checked the T-Rock medallion and it is Bombos.
Ooh, so he does need to go into ice before.
Which means that when Olin gets his cane out of Super Bunny Cave, he will be in go mode.
That is true. Oh, but one thing we see here is Coolpantsguy still doesn't have his bow.
Well, because that was an ice palace.
Exactly. So because he still doesn't have that, he's still exploring, trying to find that. That's gonna lose him some time. Oh, and making quick work of those mimics with the silver arrows. And it looks like Coolpants is finally going to go into Ice Palace, getting both items he needs to complete this seed.
Yes, and he also found Mirror Shield somewhere. Thank you, Blast.
Olin flipping some turtles.
And Coolpants picking up his bow. Only making quick work of Helmasaur King.
Breaking off his mask with 17 hits of the hammer and a single silver arrow to the face.
You know, when I was younger playing the vanilla game, I always used bombs to blow off his mask.
Yeah, bombs do work to blow off his mask, though it does require a few bombs and a lot of precision too. And I've got to say, I only learned about using arrows on this boss while learning the randomizer, because I used to always slash him to kill him.
Ole going back for what we know is a waste of time for the two chests in the dark room and the big chest for out of pod.
Coolpants getting his bomb jump in Ice Palace. First try, every try.
Now Ole does the twofer and finishes off to finish off Eastern.
Now I think he got all the items in Eastern, if I remember well.
I believe you are correct, or at least everything that he could get without defeating Armos.
Yeah, that's right. And Armos was quickly defeated.
Well, silver arrows will do that.
In a blink of an eye, they were gone.
And it looks like Ole is making the right play, going up to Dark World Death Mountain.
He'll be able to find his red cane and be able to complete the last dungeon, which is Turtle Rock. And he gets the hook shot strat.
I can get it on those lower blocks. I cannot get it on the upper blocks.
Yeah, those are pretty hard to do. Still have yet to master it myself.
And Ole gets his cane, and he is in go mode.
Yeah, and I believe that Coolpants
Yes, and-
just got his Bombo, so he's also in go mode.
As chat points out, it's 1 crystal to go for Ole and 4 crystals to go for Coolpants.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Coolpants, Ole made the right gamble to go earlier into Ice Palace, which gave him the bow, so he could complete Eastern End Pod quite quickly.
Which means we get to see Go Mode Turtle Rock, which looks a whole lot like full clear Turtle Rock.
Yeah, especially if you're looking for a small key somewhere.
We still haven't seen a half magic.
No, that's true, and I don't know what potion Olin has, so we might see a very hard Trinix box coming up. Because I believe if you don't have half magic, you can only miss 1 or 2 shots on the heads.
I've always been able to, with tempered, I've been able to get it with 2 shots.
Oh yeah, that's true. With tempered, it's not that of a problem. It's more of a problem when you only have Master Sword or the hammer available to you.
Yeah, Master Sword or Hammer is a lot more difficult.
Getting through the Chain Chomp room quite easily, it can be a real pain in the butt if you don't have good mails as they do, because they do a lot of damage for enemies. I believe if I remember right, the only enemy in the game that does more damage than these chain chomps is Ganon himself when he body checks you.
I believe you're right, as Oleg continues his way through The Legend of Zelda Super Mario Brothers.
Well, and not bothering to find what it is in this chest, as he has enough keys to go through the dungeon.
No powder always leaves me nervous when I get into the bottom part of T-Rock and then Ganon's Tower especially.
Yeah, powder is a nice safety for the later parts of Dark World, as anti-fairies become a bit more common. And if you splash powder on them, well, you get a fairy out of it. Which would be useful right now, as they both have the
bug net?
Yeah, the bug net. I was looking for my words here a bit. Which we could also see in the last Aghanim fight for a bit of Swaghanim.
That is true.
It's not required by any means, but I mean, if you want to win some style points, might as well try.
Okay, Ole did not take the safety door, so this...
He does a pretty quick strat so far.
Yes, but Trinex does a whole lot of damage.
That was a quick Trinex. Very solid.
That was as good a Trinex as I've seen in a while. Coolpants making quick work of Helmasaur King.
He'll be able to complete Eastern right after this, and then go up Turtle Rock. Now, there's a tradition in Randomizer streams where we try to guess what chest in Ganon Tower is the big key. So I want chat to pick a number and say what number of chest they think is going to be the big key.
I'm going to say, with as trolly as this seed has been, Tile Room.
Ooh, I'm going to go with 2 in the complete opposite, in being a very fast Ganon's Tower. And it's only a big heart in the second chest. Rip me. Olin choosing to save the animals today by skipping the item on the torch.
Here we come up on Randomizer room.
And Coolpants is just getting to Armos, gonna make short work of him with his silver arrows.
And it is the lower left chest in Randomizer room.
Now, Olin is going up to a series of room we call the Gauntlet, which is the later part of the Ganon's Tower. And it's not an easy part to go through, as there's a lot of enemies, notably Beamos, that can disrupt you a lot.
Yeah, most of the gauntlet I'm fine with, but that last room I just bombos it.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times in the tournament, where people just use a quick way to just get rid of these enemies, especially on the ice floors, as it's quite trolly sometimes to catch the skeleton and the other guy there.
Yeah, the ice floor with the skeleton. As Ole starts his gauntlet. Those red Stalfoses can be super trolly.
Nice shot.
And there's the bombos.
Tried going in, doing cool strats, but it had enough, and decided to just get rid of these enemies as fast as he could. I'm
Okay,
not blaming
here's Landmo 2. Nice one cycle Landmo 2.
using the silver arrows to one-shot them, all of them. Pretty good on him. Getting rid of both Wizroad Room pretty fast using the cane strats.
That is just so satisfying when you can do it. When you can do that. Picking up the last required key. But he is down to 1 heart.
He did catch a fairy though, so he's still fine.
And Trolldorm 2. Which he has no problems with.
Decides to open the validation chest, also known as the Alucard chest. Now, since he's down to 1 heart and his opponent still hasn't finished, we probably won't see any Swaggin strats, which is a shame but understandable.
Yeah, he's playing it very safe here.
Getting through quite fast on Aghanim will now be facing Ganon, which with the red mail, the tempered sword, and silvers will make a short fight. I would be a cheesy burrito, Ganon.
And he takes a death to Ganon. But he has the fairy.
Now, I don't believe he has any more safeties, so he will need to be careful here. Because without half magic, he won't be able to use cape strats here. So he'll need to dodge these fire bats.
Yes, but hookshot strats help with that. And Coolpants takes, well, he's got a fairy, but would take a death in Eye Room, in Eyeball Bridge Room.
Ooh, that was close. Misses the torch glitch, but I think he's properly set up for a double.
And that'll do it for Ganon. Olenananas is our winner.
Very clean fight overall. And he's now finished with a time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 50 seconds. But unfortunately for him, his princess is in another castle.
That was a very clean Ganon fight. Let's see if Coolpants takes the same routing in Ganon's tower.
Indeed, he could save a bit of time, because I don't believe there was much on the left side except maybe a key. On the right side, maybe.
Are we going to try to get Olen in for a post-race interview?
We'll see about that. We're still working out if he wants to come.
Looks like it is the same routing for Ganon's tower from Coolpants. Welcome, olenananas.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations on your win.
Too. I almost got a heart attack on Ganon.
Yeah, that was quite close there. You nearly gave us one too.
I was so certain I was behind. When I found that hammer, and I was certain I am so far behind, but somehow I in a decent time.
Yeah, the hammer was a trolley location in Agina's cave, and I believe Coolpants did find it earlier than you did. But you had a bit better on execution here and there, and passed him up a few dungeons after.
Okay. I just knew that when I went to Aghanim 1, I was certain that if the hammer is in Agina's cave, I'm going to lose this, but I didn't, and I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that you did aga him before that, but it's one of those gambles where there's only one item that you haven't checked that was down there, and Aghanim was still blocking a few locations such as Pyramid, Catfish, and Palace of Darkness. It was a good gamble overall.
Yeah, I probably won't be making that again, so I was hoping that the hammer is never there again.
Yeah.
No, it looked like the key play really was doing Ice Palace.
What is that? I do Ice Palace pretty fast in this version 26. Because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel that it always has something important.
And in this
Yeah.
case, it had 2.
Bow and bombos, both in Ice Palace, which is something your opponent didn't check until after he's done a few more dungeons. So he did explore Dark World, Eastern Death Mountain first. So he found the cane before you did, but didn't have the required medallion to go into Turtle Rock. So he had to backtrack all the way down.
Yeah. I tried to avoid going to Death Mountain for the 3rd time, so I just wished that when I didn't find it before the Turtle Rock, I just hoped it would be there.
Now the sea was a bit trolly at here and there, mainly with the hammer and bow, but overall I think you guys got a bit lucky, especially with the swords early on. Between the 20-minute mark, you already both had a tempered sword.
Yeah, when I found the tempered sword, I was like, okay, easy bosses from now on, I guess.
Yeah, you made quick work of all the bosses quite easily in there. And that's a god bless, because sometimes you can get stuck on bosses here and there. I think it was Coolpants who did have a few unfortunate deaths to blind, but ended up beating him a bit later when he found his blue mail.
Yeah, I actually practiced blind a little bit before this race because I have a tendency to either ace it or die.
Yeah, it's one of those bosses where if you fail the first time, it's quite a different fight from going back into the room, and Blyton isn't as is in his position that he's normally in when you start the fight with the maiden.
Yeah, and you need to do the first round, like actually do it. Of just standing behind her and or him and pummeling.
Yeah, and you did make a few cool gambles too, such as I believe, was it you that went up Death Mountain in the dark?
Anyway, I went to that mountain in the dark. Since I went to the Kagariko by the south, and when I went to check the Aghanim item, I thought that, okay, I'm already so close to Death Mountain that I might as well try this.
Yeah, that net you a lot of time too by giving you the boots early. Not that early because Lamp wasn't locked very far away, but still, you got through it very cleanly by not falling into any holes there. So congratulations on that too. It's not an easy strat.
I'm kind of used to doing that room in the dark. The only dark room I'm afraid of is the one in Mire and the one in Eastern Palace, where you need to kill the mimic, the Cyclops.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy rooms in there. I do have to say you were fairly lucky too into Ganon's Tower. I mean, not having to do the tire room, of course. But I was still a bit disappointed. We haven't seen any swag strats with the bugnet. Could have gotten you a few more style points here.
I was thinking about doing the swag anim fight, but to be honest, I just suck with the bugnet, so I didn't do it.
It's fine. You'll have plenty more occasions to show it off in future races. And to be fair, it's only for the swag.
And Coolpants is just finishing up his Aghanim 2. And Coolpants is off to Ganon.
I kind of hope he does fine in there.
Yeah, Ganon is not an easy fight. Even when you do have proper equipment, you can see that he can be trolled very easily with fire bats flying out every here and there.
I messed up the Ganon fight a little bit, but I didn't die, so I'm happy with that. I forgot to count the hits, and then I was like, oh, what I'm going to do now? Well, I'm just going to punch him a couple of extra times. I wasn't sure if if I got to the third pace at the point I did, so I took it a little safe.
Yeah, it's better to be safe, especially in this fight where it's so long that if you do take a death or take a fall, it ends up taking so much time, especially if you don't have any safety visit anymore, as you may try to bang your head against Ganon with low hearts and no magic.
Yeah, I was wondering if I should do some cave strats or something, but then I just was like, I'm going to go for this anyways. I think I got this.
Did you at any point figure you were ahead?
I found the boots in the early game. I thought that okay, this is really good and this will help a lot. But after the hammer, I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to catch up. It was all the way to the through the gauntlet. At that point, I was starting to wonder that okay, I might be ahead now.
Yeah, because you did some fairly good routing after that. I mean, always doing pod and Eastern at the same time is always a good thing, especially just after you found the bow in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I triple dipped it to the pod, but because I kind of went back there at some point and I forgot that I needed the bow to get any progress there.
Yeah, I did. We did notice that.
We were wondering why you you went back in there without anything new. But it
so
happens.
that I could finish the place with the hammer, but I then was like, oh right, I can't. End up better this way.
It looks like Coolpants just took a fall again, and so he'll need to redo that. And he doesn't have any magic left either, so he'll need to go refill that by finding either a big magic pot somewhere or maybe getting a few potions.
That may have been intentional.
Oh, that's true. He didn't have any magic for the torch.
Since it looks like he is running up to the witch's hut to get potions. Unfortunately, since he didn't beat Aghanim 1, he's got to go around the long way to get back into the Dark World.
That's true. That's one of the small disadvantages you get from not beating Aghanim. And maybe we'll see a double-chested fairy check since it's kind of on the way.
That is a possibility.
Might net him his half magic or butter sword, but looks like he's choosing to skip it.
Well, Olen, congratulations again.
Was this your first race, Olin?
Ouch. Thanks, and I've been racing the on some SRL random basis, but the first tournament race.
Well, congrats on your first match, and I hope you get through your matches, the other matches too. You're doing fairly well so far.
Coolpants is in phase 2 on the Ganon fight. Coolpants is now into phase 3.
Now he has full magic for this one, so if he gets the torch glitch, it's going to be an easy fight. But even without, I think he has enough potion. So he just needs to make sure not to fall down. And he gets it.
Nice double.
And with that, Coolpantsguy just defeated Ganon and saved Hyrule from the Randomizer madness. And he finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 9 seconds. Congratulations to Coolpantsguy. I want to give a big shout out to both runners as they had a pretty close race in there at a long point. And also our tracker, which is, I believe, our tracker, which was Blasteg, I believe, and our restreamer, Xelnas. Thank you very much for all the work you do. And of course, my commentator that was with me, DM Stewart.
And thank you, Dynasty Zero, for commenting this with me too.
It was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you guys more later on. Now we'll see if Coolpants wants to just jump in to say a quick word.
I don't think either runner on this really made any routing mistakes.
Hello.
Or any bad routing decisions. Hello, Coolpants.
Howdy, guys. Thanks for the stream and commentary.
You're welcome. Thanks for the run.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to watch that from me.
Yeah, that stream. Sorry, I've been holding things back.
Yeah, it was an interesting way to stream, nonetheless.
Oh, it's weird. What happened?
It happens, but
Wait.
overall, I think you still had a pretty cool, pretty good race.
There are a few errors I wish I could have fixed. Like
Now you
going to
did
desert
find,
earlier.
oh yeah, but overall, you still found the hammer before your opponent.
Well, that's good. Small victories.
When you went to do Agena, your opponent chose to go up to Aghanim.
Ah. It's probably time I would have saved had I not died to blind 7 times.
Yeah, blind is not an easy fight, especially early on when you don't have a lot of safeties.
I have to say, I'm sure it was nice having Tempered Sword 20 minutes in.
That was good. That was a good find. I was happy with that. Really, I figure like my biggest mistakes, I probably shouldn't have hopped into Eastern. Should have hopped into Desert instead early. But overall, I don't think I did too much terribly.
No, your routing was pretty good. I think overall, you still found all of the items in not a bad order per se. The only thing I think was going up Eastern Death Mountain with the mitts, which found you the red cane, and unfortunately not Bombos, which was in Ice Palace with the bow.
Right. Yeah, Ice was there taunting me all along. I wanted to go, but I wanted to wait.
Yeah, we completely understand with that. Ice Palace is not a fun dungeon to do, and
Would
especially
have been a
if
full
you're
clear
not.
anyway, right?
Yeah, yeah. When you're not in go mode, Ice Palace is a chore to do.
I agree. Fun seed though. I liked it.
Yeah, with pretty early lamp, boots, sword, gave you pretty much a good. I wouldn't say super easy, but quite fast.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I just made a few mistakes here and there, but first one-on-one race, I'll take it.
Yeah, first race is always I think the hardest for most people, as it's the first one-on-one. So it plays on the nerves too, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. Once I got to the T-Rock, it's starting a little shaky.
But overall, I'm going to say congratulations on finishing. That is still an accomplishment. So I got to say that was a good race, guys. And we'll wrap it up so we can move on to more races today, as our streamer has to be somewhere else.
Absolutely. We'll appreciate it.
It was a whole lot of fun getting to commentate for it.
Good. We'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah, you too, man. GG.
Commentary.
All right, see you guys.